When did it start? The night is on fire, the crowd is terrified. The betrayal was burning him from the inside out. Rage and hatred consumed him. He screamed, engulfed in flames. The queen offered her hand and heart for defeating the dragon. The knight and the queen looked into each other's eyes. And in that moment, he remembered everything. The knight struck the demon with a lightning strike. The army was jubilant. Victory had been won. The soldiers praised their commander Klein. He raised his sword, reflecting on what had happened. His gaze was determined and full of questions. The unbeatable dragon queen no one could defeat for a century. Klein, the victor, with dangerous potential. The queen raises a toast to him. Klein reminds her of his desire to share a drink with her. The queen, smiling slyly, hands him the goblet. She claims that this drink will fulfill his dream. Klein drinks, unaware of the danger. The white-haired young man was horrified. What is this? A priestess with a goblet in her hand performs the ritual. Someone is reporting a mutiny raised by Klein. The other young man doesn't believe the captain's treachery. The sharp blade of the sword flashed through the air. Klein is found guilty. The defenders will be killed. The knight is defeated. The princess passes judgment. The young man's face contorted with rage and pain. The guard watches in horror. The sinister grin of the one-eyed man instills fear. It all started in that moment. Knight in a rage screams mutiny. Bound, he burns in the flames of anger. The crowd pelt him with scraps. A devoted knight longs to destroy the world. The knight on fire cursed the traitors. The world around him crumbled into an illusion. The woman in blue walked through the snow. She watched the lost soul with pity. The age of magic is near. She offered him a choice. The ring of destiny has activated. Radiant energy consumed everything. He's determined to destroy the world. His face contorted with rage. She marveled at his decision. 3 years later, life in the kingdom goes on as usual. A bored knight, looking for some entertainment. The knight, with the white braids, smirked, anticipating the game. The traitor leapt from the roof, stalking his victim. The order of knights demanded to surrender their weapons. The men fearfully laid down their weapons. The girl hid in terror, fearing death. A formidable knight noticed something valuable in the girl's possession. The girl begged to be spared her priceless relic. The knight ordered the item to be handed over. The girl refused, full of despair. The knight swung his sword, ruthless. The girl realized her plight with horror. The knight brought the blade down, executing the order. The knight heard the question, "Who is there?" From above came the reply, "Your master." The people below cheerfully exclaimed, "Shirou!" The commander of the knights contemptuously threw, "Well," he ordered to capture Shirou. The knights rushed to carry out the order. The red cloaked knight deftly dodges the attacks. With a clang, his swords meet the void. He fiercely attacks his foes. The angry warrior vows revenge. The well-fed knight rushes to attack. The red-clad knight blocks the blow. The question of stealing magic. Fragments hangs in the air. The knight delivers a devastating blow. The knight is furious. Losing is unacceptable. Silver warrior attacks the enemy. The knight offers a deal. Give everything and leave. The wounded warrior groans in pain. The white-haired warrior demands to leave everything behind. People run away in terror. Demon! The girl thanks the knight. The knight modestly declines the thanks. He addresses the crowd, urging them to take action. The knight generously allows the people to take whatever is left. The crowd enthusiastically cheers the knight named Shirou. A mustachioed man in a rage threatens Shirou with violence. The night tower under the moon. The masked knight languishes in boredom. Someone turns to the noble thief. A flash of energy lights up the knight. She asks with a chuckle if he misses her. The knight indifferently replies that he does not care about respect. The main thing is fun. The girl watches him thoughtfully, puzzled as to why the strongest knight has gotten so close to the commoners. The sword slams into the ground, making the knight furious. He feels the mockery. The dark-haired woman denies mocking the former king. He is in despair, executed for treason. He has lost everything. Under the moon, the knight curses his fate. The woman comforts him. As long as he lives, there is a chance. The rescued knight questions his rescuer's motives. The enigmatic Mesias answers evasively, enjoying another's struggle. The knight resigns himself to his fate, accepting help. Mesias promises to be there for him no matter what happens. The action moves to Lind Castle, the residence of the Earl of Isen. The subordinate reported the failure to the Lord, making excuses about the strength of the enemy. The enraged Lord reprimanded him for his futility. Humiliated, the subordinate begged for forgiveness. The woman beside the Lord grinned gloatingly. The Overlord rebuked James for his constant failures. James begged for one last chance, vowing to catch Shirou. Enraged, the Overlord refused, finally disappointed. A battered James despaired. The Lord pointed to two warriors. The warriors approached, ready to carry out the order. Orders have been given. Capture Shirou at all costs. The demoted captain, humiliated, agrees. A bird's-eye view of the city. Among the crowd, he observes the oppression of the common people. Snide question hangs in the air. Trouble is coming. The fragments of the blade will reunite. The knight indifferently brushed aside the prophecy. The thief hummed, hiding her true motives. The dark-haired girl approved of the thief's cynicism. Figures in white robes reappeared in the city. Knight and the girl noticed suspicious activity. He resents the persistence of his enemies. The girl noticed a change in their demeanor. A knight rushes into battle without understanding the reasons why. The knight unleashed a mighty blow. The townspeople watched the destruction in horror. The soldiers demanded valuables from the old man. The old man, terrified, begged for mercy. The battered man screamed for Shirou's help. The knight stepped on the defeated enemy. The dark knight pondered his fate. The town recognized the approaching knight. When the man saw him, he was horrified. The knight swiftly rushed to flee. Shirou appeared, ready for the long-awaited meeting. The knight recognized Shirou. Shirou accepted the challenge, promising to be a nightmare. The furious knight attacked with a shout. Knight evades the attack with ease. The enraged foe is shocked at the failure. The hero grabs the enemy, tauntingly. He exclaims enthusiastically at the capture. The commander gives the order to capture the knight. The soldiers rush in pursuit. The knight scoffs at their forgetfulness. A knight with blue hair prepares to attack. The enemy is terrified. A powerful blow lands on the enemy. The knight in armor flies back with a scream. He is shocked by the strength of his attacker. The traitor sneers, outnumbering his former ally. The armored knight is confused. The knight demanded an answer. Clenching his captive's jaw, the captive refused to speak, loyal to his lord. The knight decided to reveal his true identity. He declared his demonic nature, frightening the captive. The knight, transfixed, demanded an honest answer. A fierce threat hung in the air. The captive in horror agreed to everything. He gave out the name of his employer. The knight was interested in the magical artifact. He recognized the violet, flame shard. The captive swore he knew nothing more. The knight let him go with a final warning. The frightened captive hurried away. His men hurriedly left the castle. The knight was left alone, brooding. The world won't be peaceful for long in this town. There were whispers of a mysterious avenger outside the walls of Lind Castle. Gossip about the righteous thief stirred the townspeople. His daring methods shocked. There were even tales of the Count's public humiliation. A mysterious cloaked stranger lurked among the crowd. He threw off his hood, revealing red hair. With a sly smile, he whispered a promise to Brother Shirou. His green eyes burned with determination. A knight in red walks through the square, attracting stares. The disguised hero notices the Count, his new target. Someone calls out a knight, named Shirou. A girl joyfully rushes toward him. An unexpected blow knocks the knight to the ground. A stranger embraces the knight, admiring his gentleness. The enraged knight demands an explanation. The girl provokes him into a fight. Introducing herself as Carol, she declares her desire to help. The knight coldly rejects her help. Carol wonders if he is sending her away. The distraught girl reminds him of her long journey and her cuteness. The knight roughly pushes the annoying girl away. He mutters irritably about the strange encounter. Again, the girl attacks, screaming about righteous thievery. The people around him are shocked by her statement. The knight agrees to leave with her for a while. The girl is outraged, demanding to be warned about such things. The knight angrily asks what the girl wants. The girl suggests using a stinking potion. The knight is amazed at the girl's insanity. He reminds her of the seriousness of punishing evil. Girl describes the terrible effects of the potion. Knight is interested in the proposal. He agrees and takes the girl with him. Knight promises to teach her how to have fun. The girl is surprised at the unexpected turn. The girl shrieked with joy. The knights were discussing a daring plan. They walked down the ruined street. The order to take out valuables sounded harsh. The alarming news threw her into despair. The man was tearing his hair out in a rage. His fear of Lord Khan was evident. The enraged lord blamed his subordinates for the failure. The guards listened in horror to the angry tirade. A defiant girl burst in, wreaking havoc. Lord Ison was infuriated by the appearance of the uninvited guest. The girl insidiously attacked the guards with mud. The knights fell victim to the unusual attack. One of the knights watched in shock. The bearded man roared, indignant at someone else's insolence. A red cloak flashed through the air, bearing down on the enemy. Landing, the warrior in armor questioned who was in front of him. With a challenge hidden by his mask, the hero threw out a short, "Yo!" The bearded man with the blade growled, "You again?" The gray-haired warrior dodges a punch. The knight grabs the enemy by the throat. The bearded man roared in pain. The hero in the red cape won't let him get away. The terrified old man begs to be spared. A loyal knight taunts his opponent. The captive tries to talk Shirou down. Knights in armor enter the hall. Shirou looks at the guards contemptuously. Someone's yelling Carol's name. Girl walks into hall with a thumping leg kick. The appearance of the young lady excited everyone. The knight attacked. The enemy with a shout. A powerful blow rained down on the enemy. Something disgusting splattered to the sides. The guards recoiled in horror. The smell was unbearable. One of the knights couldn't take it. He vomited with nausea. The knight unleashed his might on his opponent. The girl knight kicked the defeated enemy. The interrogation began. "Tell me about Mako." Terrified, the captive asks what will be done to him. The blade stabbed into his arm, eliciting a cry of pain. "Are we going to talk, or am I going? To break every bone in your body?" Intimidated, he agreed to tell everything. The knight with the icy gaze prepares to attack. He threw a deadly projectile. "Shit!" ran through his mind. The enemy roared in pain. The fat man screamed, squirming. "I let my guard down!" The knight gritted his teeth. The knight in the red cloak was trying to stop someone. He irritatedly noticed that the target had gotten away. The girl in green exclaimed fearfully about someone's death. The defeated enemy lay on the floor and the girl gloated. The blue-haired warrior stared coldly at the defeated one. The defeated man's face was distorted with a grimace of horror. Confident in his venom, he reported success. Irritated, the mage ordered faster action. "One shard is already in Shirou's possession," the mage reported. The old man grinned maliciously, sensing the challenge. "Kill Shirou. Collect the fragments. Mako's divine power will be released. You will become the strongest in the world, a god, and I'll put an end to it. The count is dead. The looting has begun." The raiders greedily grabbed the treasure, fighting over prey, yelling, "Mine!" There were two watching from the roof. More goodness. Do you like this chaos? The question rang out. The villain's fall has lifted his spirits. The girl admires her brother's strength. The Trinity celebrates their victory on the roof. The knight promises more fun. The woman warns of the consequences. The devoted knight does not fear his enemies. He thinks they are nothing. Girl is excited about the upcoming battle. The villain is anticipating the carnage. The newspapermen deliver an emergency bulletin. The townspeople praise Shirou. A friend informs Shirou of the praise. Shirou is surprised by the unexpected fame. The knight reads an invitation from Kane. Lord Kane invited them to dinner. The knight suspected a trap, but agreed. They walked down the streets, anticipating the fun. Knight promised more entertainment. They were approaching the ominous fortress. The heavy door opened with a clang. A dark well waited for them below, falling into darkness. He looked at Aisha, captivated by the greenish light. Aisha, immersed in sleep, did not answer. The two were discussing Lord Kane's arrival. They doubted if he would come calling. Confident, predicted the appearance of Kane. He knew pride would make him appear. Even knowing it's a trap, the confident warrior waited for another tale. A warning of the enemy's strength sounded in the darkness. The white-haired giant answered the doubt with disdain. He asked menacingly if it was a trap. The knight summoned the power of the cursed lion. The fierce flames broke free. In chains, shrouded in magic, a beast appeared. The witness was horrified when he saw the might of the lion. The villain created an experimental weapon out of shards. The fierce fire lion roared, displaying its might. The cloaked figure watched in awe at the power of the blade. By collecting all the shards, you can destroy the world. The two conspirators were anticipating the fulfillment of a dream, but the joy is overshadowed by someone else's absence. The memory of the lion pierced his heart. The villain's face contorted into a sinister grin. Someone is no longer with them. The girl's sad smile hid the pain of loss. Shirou arrived at the castle. The crowd is parting for the hero. Lord Kane greets Shirou. Kane remembers Shirou's merits. Shirou is honored by the Lord's attention. Knight assured that everyone's contribution to the castle will be remembered. The leader suggested that everyone should build a better future together. The guests gladly accepted the invitation to the feast. The servants announced that the treats were ready. Mountains of roasted pork waited in the hall. The host invited the guests to eat as much as they liked. The knight refused the treat, which puzzled his companion. The girl cheerfully offered to eat the treat herself. The formidable warrior stared suspiciously at the knight. The betrayed knight accused the warriors of deception. The warriors were amazed at the knight's words. The formidable warrior questioned the purpose of the visit. The blade pierced the air, aiming for the seated man. The girl fended off the attack, defending her brother. A white-haired young man with a mask was observing the scene. The gray-haired warrior taunts his opponent. The order goes out, "Kill him!" The knights attack, but the enemy is calm. He contemptuously calls them tools. A powerful punch shakes the hall. The gray-haired warrior blocks the attack. He smirks, anticipating the fight. A loyal knight unleashes dark energy. In rage, the warrior shouts, "Hell!" The mage summons the slumbering beast. A monstrous roar shakes the earth. The knight fearlessly meets the beast. The knight rushed to the attack with determination in his eyes. An old man with a blazing gaze summoned might. The fire lion broke free with a furious roar. The flames consumed everything around it. The white-haired warrior threw in a chuckle. "You're too soft." The beast spewed out destructive pink energy. The knight dodged the attack, counterattacking swiftly. The monster roared as it was struck in the face. It was knocked to the ground and flew away, destroying everything in its path. The crowd cheers. Kain is unbeatable. The victor taunts the defeated Shirou. The smoke clears, revealing the destruction. The unknown man watches, anticipating the spectacle. A mighty figure rises from the dust. The old man is horrified to see what is happening. He marvels at the power of the awakened creature. The ominous look in his eyes foreshadowed something terrible. The snarl of the beast demanded the destruction of the enemy. The knight grinned contemptuously. He threw his arm forward sharply. A powerful blow shook the ground. The beast roared furiously, preparing to attack. A mocking voice predicted defeat for the knight. The knight confidently attacked the beast. The beast fiercely counterattacked. Overcoming the pain, the warrior gritted his teeth. He summoned the power of the ghostly chains. A vortex of dark energy engulfed everything around him. The knight, surrounded by sinister spirits, was trapped. He was predicted to die quickly from exhaustion, but he only grinned without losing his composure. Suddenly, a powerful fiery explosion. The knight, engulfed in flames, was transformed. The dark energy receded. He stood his ground, shocking his opponent. Dark energy enveloped the knight. The enemy is defeated. "I was stronger! Strike!" The gray-haired warrior is writhing in pain. Powerful blast blows the enemy away. "Why?" asks the defeated man. "You're about to find out." The knight grins ominously. A dark figure announced itself as a spirit. The knight scoffed at the strength of the spirit. He unleashed a crushing blow on the enemy. The knight, blazing with rage, prepared to strike again. The beast with a scarlet aura rushed forward to attack. A mighty blow knocked the enemy back. The knight dodged the monster's claws. Pursued, he spotted a receding figure. "You will not get away!" he roared. A magical vortex erupted from its mouth. The knight released a devastating energy stream. The attack swept through the hall. The knight decided to deal with his opponent. The unknown warrior appeared suddenly. The blue-haired hero was in no hurry to engage. The phantom cat roars into battle. Those around him recognize the fleeing knight as Lord Kain and are surprised by his panic. In desperation, Kain orders his men to delay the enemy. Cairo attacks with chains of ghostly skulls. The trapped men are terrified as they try to free themselves. The knight screamed in agony. He desperately parried the blow. Wounded, he begged for help. Terrified, he realized he was dying. Grinning maliciously, the enemy defied justice. He cursed fate in rage. The mocking gaze of the enemy confirmed his return from hell. Disregarding the lives of civilians, the warrior attacked. The gray-haired knight is stunned by the insolence of the enemy. Blades crossed in a fierce battle. The traitor's sword broke with a powerful blow. The knight fiercely counterattacked, knocking the enemy back. The traitor punched through the wall, screaming in pain. Fury contorted the old warrior's face. The white-haired warrior announced the end of the game. His body was blazing with sinister energy. Throwing off his cloak, he prepared for battle. With a wave of his hand, he flung his opponent away. A villainous laugh echoed in the darkness. Dark magic enveloped the knight in purple chains. Terrified, he tried to break free from the shackles. Outside, in the city, he struggled again against the curse. The heavy doors of Castle Kain's dungeon swung open. A mage waited inside, exuding a sinister aura. He looked at Aisha, captive in the green cocoon. Tormented by doubts, he asked himself what to do. Determined, he wondered if this was the end. Violet magic erupted, enveloping him. He decided to end it all. Isha disappears in a green glow. The knight promises to fulfill her dream. A flash of purple energy shakes the ground. A dark force envelops the knight. He embraces the girl with pink hair. A fierce warrior bursts through the magical chains. With a fierce shout, he kicked away the invisible barrier. Stunned, he tried to realize who he was facing. Panic gripped the city. The earth opened up. The girl covered her head with her hands in horror. A powerful energy burst out from the ground. The silver-haired warrior watched the destruction. He knew it was Kane's doing. The knight hurried on, sensing something amiss. He remembered Kane's mysterious Nemi. The warriors rushed to Lord Kane, worried about Shirou. A hooded figure was waiting for them at the entrance. The warriors discussed the power of Shirou and the mysterious Nemi. Lord Kane decided to retreat, recognizing Shirou's strength. Before he left, he decided to share the wealth. The warriors rejoiced at Lord Kane's generosity. They cheered, praising their leader. The knights met Kane in a dark passageway. A sudden gust of wind filled the hallway. The blue-haired knight began to laugh sinisterly. Darkness enveloped the knights, and they screamed in pain. A terrible monster emerged from the darkness. The enemy screamed in pain, struck by dark magic. The knights flew back from the powerful blow. The dark essence engulfed the enemy, lifting him into the air. The monster roared, shrouded in darkness. The monster opened its terrifying maw. A sinister energy emerged from the darkness. The cloaked figure summoned magical chains. The chains enveloped the monstrous creature. With contempt, he called the humans fools. The monster attacked the villagers. The people ran away in terror. The creature grabbed its victim. An unknown warrior swiftly appeared. He chopped the monster with a powerful blow. The stunned villagers watched. The monstrous creature horrified Messias. It was explained to him that it was a defective magical warrior. He absorbs power, compensating for his shortcomings. Messias assumed it was Kane's pet. The hooded girl objected. It was Kane himself. It resonated with the purple flame blade shard. Kane? He asked bitterly. Has Kane fallen so low? A monster attacks a young man with flaming skin. The knight with white hair prepares to fight. The monster is defeated. The young man is puzzled. The girl explains what is happening to the boy. A flash of rage. The young man will not give up. The knight unleashed a crushing blow on the monster. The monster tried to block the attack. An energy stream erupted from the beast's mouth. The knight groaned in pain and was thrown backwards. The knight assessed his opponent with a smirk. The monster collapsed to the ground with a crash. The knight ran swiftly through the streets. He reached the church of Mikalos. The giant pink lion had been defeated. The girl looked at the bright light with astonishment. The knight attacks the enemy with a roar. The monster throws him back with a powerful blow. He thinks, 2 more. The knight pierces the monster. 2 more and I'm free, he whispers angrily. The monster looks at the knight in horror. The monster furiously demands that his body be released. The captor mockingly rejects the demand. The captive clings desperately to his dream. The monster roars, demanding the body. The knight runs away from the enraged monster. The blade cuts through the air, aiming at the monster. The knight, with an icy stare, wishes death upon his enemy. The monster recognizes the warrior's strength, but scoffs. Game time is over, the monster declares. A dark energy restrains the knight. The monster burst free, enveloped in purple energy. The gray-haired warrior, stunned, watched in horror. The explosion shook the ground, sending debris everywhere. The dark figure laughed evilly, enjoying the chaos. He felt intoxicating power, dominating the world once again. The fire monster unleashed its fury. The fire monster towered over the knight. The knight realized with horror what was happening. The flames consumed everything around him. The monster announced its return. The white-haired warrior realized it was not Kane. He angrily demanded the name of the imposter, the fire monster. Foretold the enemy's imminent doom. The knight summoned a demonic technique. A powerful explosion shook the ground. A 9-headed monster emerged from the flames. The 9-headed dragon attacked. The monster opened its huge maw, preparing to attack. Its scales glistened, emitting a menacing energy. The knight dodged the blow with a grunt. The multi-headed dragon surrounded him, snapping its teeth. With a furious cry, the warrior swung his sword charged with magic. The mighty blow shattered the air, heading towards the enemy. The dragons roared, preparing to attack. A powerful explosion shook the ground. The knight painfully deflected the blow. The blade split the fire elemental. He counterattacked with fierce determination. The knight dodged the powerful blow, bouncing off the wall. The enemy's fiery attack scorched his hair. He summoned a protective barrier, repelling the furious onslaught. "Fool!" progressed the enemy, unleashing another blow. The knight's shield cracked, but he stood his ground. The mighty knight collapsed, punching through the wall. He clucked irritably, getting up. Suddenly, a woman in darkness appeared. She assessed the knight's condition with disdain. The wounded warrior recognized the stranger's strength. He noticed the woman and wondered about her purpose. The fire monster unleashed its fury. The sorceress defied brute force. She revealed her devious plan. An enigmatic smile contorted her face. Dark energy began to club together. An ominous magical symbol flashed. A knight entangled in red threads like a puppet. "The price for power is to become a puppet, forgotten by all," he roared, not wanting that fate. Transformed by anger, the knight rose. A mysterious voice asked about his dream. A memory flashed in the warrior's eyes. A girl dreams of a strong husband and marriage. He swears to protect her from all dangers. The devoted knight protects the girl from bandits. Now he is a hero standing at the top of the empire beside his beloved. A flash of rage. He remembers the betrayal. He remembers the promise he once made. The goal is the top of the empire, at any cost. The villain vowed to crush all in his path. A dark aura enveloped the warrior. The power grew, concentrating around him. A fiery monster descended upon the enemy. The loyal knight remained unimpressed. The fire monster awakened. The knight orders the deity to leave his body. The white-haired warrior thwarts the fiery entity. A hooded girl watches the battle. The knight drives the god out in a rage. The monster roars with rage. The deity is ready to inflict more pain. The knight, engulfed in flames, was desperately resisting. The dark-haired girl ordered the fight to end. The ally offered the knight to use the power of the artifact. He is willing to risk everything for victory. The heated hand clenched, heralding a blow. The loyal knight is furious. The enemy has disappeared. Only a blade remained on the battlefield. A fiery aura enveloped the knight. He growled, clenching his fists. A formidable silhouette emerged from the flames. "Game over!" came an ominous voice. "It's time to get down to the real business." Engulfed in fire, the knight realized with horror the nearness of the end. An explosion shook the city walls. The knight howled, engulfed in flames. "Where's the shard?" He searched frantically for the missing one. A formidable voice chimed in. "Understand, human? An ancient evil awakens from a 1,000-year sleep. Despair grips the knight in the face. A fiery fury. With a fierce cry, he accepts the challenge. Overcoming the pain, the hero gathers his strength. A stroke, and the enemy is thrown back with a crushing blow. The fire giant mocked the man's weakness. The warrior stood up, shaking off the dust. He stated that he was no longer human. The warrior's face changed, becoming sinister. The fire monster raised an eyebrow in surprise. The giant waited for an answer, anticipating. The fire warrior proclaimed himself a wandering soul. The warrior's glittering eyes blazed with fierce energy. A shadowy curtain fell upon the enemy. A terrifying, fiery creature emerged from the darkness. The warrior exclaimed in amazement. Recognizing the monster, the knight attacks the fire giant. The giant marveled. Knight lands a crushing blow. The enemy is overwhelmed by the variety of techniques. The knight recoils, assessing the situation. A prolonged fight is not favorable. The knight searched for the shard in a rage. The shard flew off into the distance, leaving a trail of fire. The blade stabbed into the icy surface. The knight spotted the shard with glee. A fiery monster appeared out of nowhere. The giants noticed something in the distance. The terrifying maw of the fire monster opened. The purple flame of the blade erupted. The fire monster has awakened. He won't let the last fragment be stolen. The knight grabbed the blade with determination. With a fierce shout, he rushed into the fray. The knight is furious. What? He's throwing his opponent off. A powerful fiery blast shook the air. A loyal knight is thrown back by the blast. He collapses, gritting his teeth in pain. The last shard! The villain exulted. A shard of him. The fire monster is attacking. The knight is thrown back by the blast. This is bad, realizes the hero. The villain has found true power and craves power over the world. The hero challenges the powerful enemy. The scene shifts to the dungeon of Lind Castle. A mysterious figure speaks. Fate. The unknown man ponders the beginning and the end. The magician summoned a golden glow. He directed the power at the possessed. The fierce warrior vowed to crush all enemies. With a fierce shout, he unleashed the violet flame. The mighty knight would not back down. The demon triumphed, mocking the humans. The hero fiercely resisted, unwilling to surrender. The enemy pressed on, anticipating the final victory. He threatened a quick death after synchronization. The hero's face was contorted with horror and anger. The fire monster descended upon the enemy. The knight recognized the monster as Cain. The fierce monster attacked with renewed vigor. A loyal knight has vowed to avenge the attempted body snatch. The weakened monster opened a gap in the defense. Knight saw his chance to win. Klein observes the conversation. The knight listens to the princess in silence. She questions his readiness for service. The princess's piercing gaze is full of determination. The knight declared with determination that he would do anything for his ideals. He stepped forward confidently, never wavering from his goal. His opponent, engulfed in flames, refuses to break his vow. The knight's mighty blow falls upon the enemy. The city shakes with the force of the blow. Buildings collapse, kicking up clouds of dust. The fire monster fiercely attacked. A hand grabbed the pink crystal. The gray-haired warrior retrieved the artifact. The enraged monster defended the treasure. The monster's gaze poured with anger. The demon blazes, the knight curses Cain. Exhausted, he demands that the demon be banished. The knight coughs up blood, his strength leaving him. Betrayed, he fights with his last strength. The thought of Natsu flashes through his mind. Clenching his fist, the knight is determined. He swears to himself, "I won't lose this time." The knight summoned the power of the purple flame. A purple beam surged into the sky. The unknown man screamed in pain. The fire monster roared a curse. He unleashed his anger on the offender. Violet energy rains down on the city. The conspirator regrets the failure of the plan. The dark figure praises his choice. The warrior pleads for strength. The purple blade breaks free. The dark figure shattered into shards. The silver-haired warrior rose up in a dark aura. "It's over!" rang out an icy voice. A face with a burnt cheek distorted with grim determination. "Stop, Cain!" a shout rang out. A fiery fist came crashing down on his opponent. The knight groaned in pain. It was getting harder and harder to contain the monster's blazing rage. The heart was its vulnerable spot, the warrior realized. "I'm counting on you," came a desperate voice. "I won't let you down!" A gleaming blade cleaved the air. "You miserable creature, you're in my way!" roared the monster. "I have 6 shards!" he hissed back. The blazing warrior taunts his opponent. The silver-haired knight accepts the challenge. He recalls their past battles. The knight unleashes the force. A demonic strike descends upon the enemy. Violet energy cleaves through space. "Useless!" roared the demon, absorbing the attack. A torrent of fire rained down on the city. Purple energy surged in response. The fire wave engulfed everything around it. "Take that!" shouted the hero, unleashing a powerful punch. A knight with a purple blade attacks a fire monster. The monster warns of being consumed by magic. The loyal knight chuckles, not listening. He remembers his poor childhood. Small, he was weak and defenseless. The silver-haired knight rushes forward, unwilling to give up. A blob of dark energy bursts from his hand. His speed increases dramatically, stunning his opponent. A fiery aura envelops the warrior, protecting him. He takes on the burden of hope. The knight unleashed his might in desperation. The furious roar of the enemy shook the air. A powerful explosion shook the ground. Flames pierced the space. Later, the silver-haired warrior grinned. The queen knights, the young man. He accepts her blessing by bowing his head. Having gained power, he destroys the world. Lightning shook the city in the pouring rain. A scarlet rose bloomed amidst the devastation. The fire warrior collapsed on the wet paving stones. The flames around him thickened, pulsing. Magical energy concentrated in a purple crystal. The warrior's piercing gaze boded ill. A defeated opponent lay in the rain. The knight walked over and kicked the lying man. "Don't pretend!" The knight held the defeated enemy in the rain. "Look what you've done," he said bitterly. The ruined city was smoking under a gray sky. "I never lost to you," roared the defeated man. "This battle only started because of you," the knight parried. Exhausted, he could barely stay on his feet. The devoted knight, exhausted, cursed the deception. Through the pain, he remembered the false promises. The knight was torn between death and revenge. Gloating laughter heralded new trouble. In the rain, someone brought him comfort. In the arms of a stranger, the knight found peace. Words of gratitude concealed his true motives. Amazed, he realized the fulfillment of his wish. The dark-haired girl hinted at the beginning of a new life. the knight decided to stay with the girl till the end. He gently embraced Aisha in his arms. Grieving, he whispered her name. In the rain, in the ruins, his death was announced. In the rain, they discuss a defeated enemy, a victim of fate. They blame him for what happened. He fell victim to his own greed, given to him by his power. It is the purple blade of flame, a powerful magical weapon. It can destroy a city with a single swing. Fortunately, he was stopped in time. Something's happening. The gray-haired warrior tensed. A second! Blood-red energy rushed forward. He dodged, stunned by the power of the attack. A mysterious stranger appeared in a cloak with burning eyes. The dark-haired girl reprimanded, clutching the purple blade. Someone's hand grabbed the flaming weapon. 3. Knight attacked the dark figure with a shout. The cloaked figure intercepted the attack. The enraged knight tries to get his own back. A magical strike lands on the enemy. The dark figure taunts the weakened knight. The knight unleashed a devastating attack on his opponent. The warrior's face blazed with rage. He was determined. An angry shout rang out in response. You! A powerful blow with the power of the demonic king shook the air. The pink chains broke under the pressure of the blade. The enemy watched in horror. The dark knight unleashed his might upon the defeated king. With a sneer, he reminded of the former greatness of his enemy. The king's strength waned, and he stared doomedly at his opponent. Exhausted, the king recognized his powerlessness. The dark knight, eager to continue the game, hurried to finish the fight. In the pouring rain, the reckoning begins. The woman exclaimed Lavis's name painfully. An ominous voice sounded from under the hood. He recalled the betrayal, foreshadowing retribution. Levis is doomed to defeat at the hands of the man he despises. Gloating, the mage anticipates the knight's downfall. The Witch of Destiny reveals her true nature. God's impending awakening is a threat to humans. The knight is desperate. His body is on fire.